When you see the look of a child who can kind of exhale a sense of relief because the person on the other side of the door is not someone that they just met, that's all the change that you need.
We've advanced in our thinking in child welfare to say, we can help you do what you do naturally better. We can make it to where you don't have to come into foster care in order to care for your relative. We can figure out how to move resources with Family First from behind our door to in front of our door so you can get it without having to come through our door.
Working with the community as a whole is of vital importance as well. So making sure that there's a good kinship navigator program, because this isn't just a child welfare system issue, and it's not just child welfare systems that need to support these families.
The way a jurisdiction can begin to think about the value of kin placements is first to identify the value of relatives. Second, to center your practice around what's best for the child instead of what's best for the system. Third, recognize that you need to bring your provider community along and help them shift their business plans to be able to now accommodate just a different way of thinking.
Yes, we have to ask young people, where would they like to live and who they would like to live with. And then we need to ensure that we have a practice as an ecosystem, as an agency, as a system that honors that it is a pathway to be able to go ahead and have those bonding moments and figure out what are the supports that are needed to actually make that happen.
If you are going to remove a child from their biological family, you are telling the child and you are telling that biological family that you can do a better job than their parents. And if that is the case, then you have to ensure you are doing everything humanly possible to give them a comparable or better life until they are reunified or that they've found a permanent placement, preferably with kin.
Another area that we are very proud of here in Connecticut is our racial justice work. When you think about kinship placements, it's important for you to know whether or not your system has the value of pathologizing families of color. You look at the historic context of most communities of color, and they've leaned in to provide kinship placements. They've leaned in to provide help when a parent was in crisis. But suddenly, when the formal systems get involved, we start to look at those things to rule a family member out. And those rule outs were mostly, I would say, families of color. And so when you recognize that your race and equity work is deleteriously impacting families and children of color, you have to put in some of those firewalls to make sure that the same things that are afforded to their white counterparts are also being implemented and expected for all families. And so we disaggregate a lot of our outcome data, most of it at this point, by race.
I think the most important place to start is, one, notifying every person that they possibly can who's connected to the young person. I don't think that systems do a very good job at the family finding thing.
Another barrier that we had to overcome is if a relative wasn't ready at that moment, we never circled back. And so it was almost like if I asked you this one time, if you can take your nephew and you have a job that wouldn't allow for that to happen based on the child's age, we never kind of went back to circle back to see if things changed, if the child was still in care.
One of the things that I would suggest that you can do that is concrete is to review your current kinship placement policies and taking a deep dive analysis to see if there are any inequities in that policy. So are there anything in these policies that hinder our ability to place kids with kin placements up front? Whatever that policy may be, I think that's a first good step. The second thing that I think is concrete that you can actually do is to convene some focus groups. So take a look at the existing kin families that you have right now, bring them in, have some conversations with them, and ask them in an honest, sincere way, what was it about this agency that served you well? What was it about this agency that did not serve you well when it came to placing kin with you? And what can we improve upon? I think those are two solid, concrete things that can be done.
The piece that I want to leave folks with is that, kinship care is not easy, it's hard. And kinship care is not cheap, it's expensive. And you can't do this right unless you're going to invest the same amount of resources as you do in core homes or group homes and you got to invest the same amount of energy. You can't just walk away, and you can't leave them financially unsupported. It requires resources, but the difference is with this investment, we have a better opportunity to know that the return is going to be great for the child.